Welcome to Cirque de Judith and welcome to the Freak Show. Hope you're excited to start sacrificing some creatures today. That is, it's always a wonderful way to get a commander game going. But let's start off with the ringleader herself, and that's going to be Judith, the Scourge Diva. So she's coming in at 3 total mana. Other creatures you control get +1/+0. Then whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Judith deals 1 damage to any target. Now, one of the cool things about Judith is it's not a Blood Artist effect where your opponent's losing a life and you're gaining a life. With Judith, that's 1 damage you can pretty much spread wherever you want. Let's say your opponent has a Planeswalker on the battlefield. You can start pinging away at that Planeswalker. You can use her ability to kind of start picking off some of your opponent's creatures to clear the way for you to swing in. And last but not least, you can just send it up top to the dome and build some sort of aggressive board state and just kind of keep the pressure up on your opponent. So as far as Judith goes, once you get her down on the battlefield, it's pretty much whatever you need to do. And that's what makes her so good in this particular package, being able to send that damage wherever you want. Now let's move on. One of the ways that you can really kind of amplify her ability is by making sure you're getting as much value as possible from sacrificing your own creatures. And part of that's going to be cashing in some extra card draw. So we have cards like Grim and Midnight Reaper. We really want to make sure we build extra layers of just value kind of mixed in with each other to where, let's say that we have Judith on the battlefield, we have Midnight Reaper, we sacrifice Bloodghast, that's going to be 1 card draw, that's going to be 1 damage, make the land drop, Bloodghast comes back. So you're good to go from there. You really just want to make sure you have extra like overlaying effects built in within your deck. Now, another thing that you can also run is going to be some things that get a little bit of an added bonus from creatures dying, and that's going to be Pitiless Plunderer. Whenever a creature you control dies, we get a treasure artifact token. That's really going to help us kind of build up a little bit of extra mana, at the same time cash in those Judith card draws. And then also cards like Balthor. Is a little bit expensive with a triple black activation, but you can remove it from the game. Then each player returns all black and red creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield. Now, this doesn't necessarily care about creatures dying in the moment, but Balthor is going to be a very happy camper if you have a graveyard full of creatures that you sacrifice to make Judith happy. He's going to be like, yes, let's bring him out for the encore. So he's the official encore person for the deck. Outside of the actual creatures that care about card draw, or at least sacrificing creatures, we do have a little bit of card draw in here that kind of works well with sacrificing our creatures, and at the same time we can use this as a way to kind of enable that Judith the trigger. So cards like Altar's Reap and Costly Plunder, that's going to make sure we keep our hand flowing consistent with card draw, and at the same time sacrifice those creatures, get them into the graveyard. The way this deck is built, and depending on how you want to build your Judith deck, is Altar's Reap and Costly Plunder. Sometimes there's a little bit of a setback if you have to sacrifice a good creature, but the way this deck is kind of put up is we've got running about 30 creatures in here, so you just want to keep that hand flowing. You want to sacrifice a creature, get that damage being dealt, and draw a couple more cards. That's going to get you into something like a board wipe, maybe something like Living Death. For the most part, you just want to make sure you keep that card draw flowing, and Altar's Reap and Costly Plunder are a wonderful way to take advantage of that. Now, onto the tools of the trade of the circus. So that's going to be Skull Clamp. We're running a lot of token enablers in here, so getting down a Skull Clamp on one of our 1/1 creatures, or even getting on something like Reassembling Skeleton, getting that card draw, that's going to be fun. Long story short, if you've never run Skull Clamp in a deck, make sure you put it in there. It is a beautiful commander card. Still, every time I cover it in a deck tech, I don't know why it was printed, but I'm going to keep playing it. And then also, one of the cool things with Judith is since she deals damage directly, you can put Collar on Judith, and that's going to give her Death Touch and Lifelink. So you're going to be able to deal 1 damage to our opponent's creature. Since it is Death Touch damage, it's going to kill that creature instantly. Let's say it's a 10/10. You deal 1 damage to Judith, that's going to take care of that creature, and you gain a life. So it's kind of like a really nice 2-for-1. And I don't know, it's really nice. But yes, make sure you run Collar in there because that's a wonderful way to take advantage. You can run some sort of Infect package in here if you wanted to give Judith Infect. I decided not to. I wanted to build a little bit more of kind of a Carnival Aristocrats theme. But definitely giving her Infect in some form or fashion would be another way to kind of close the game out, especially if you're in a multiplayer setting, Got a ton of creatures on the battlefield, give her Infect and spread out among the board, and everybody's going to be so happy that you showed that off. Now, another thing that you can really kind of amplify this deck is by getting a lot of goblins pointing on the battlefield. No, it's getting some tokens. We want bodies on the battlefield. It just made me laugh that when I was making this art that there's a bunch of goblins that are just pointing. So apparently that's all you need to do. If you want to be in Judith's circus, you just need to be a goblin. You need to learn how to point. So talking about you, Mudsta, learn how to point. But yeah, so you get these down, and this is going to allow us to get down extra tokens on the battlefield. It's going to fuel those costly plunders. It's still going to give us extra creatures that we can just swing into our opponent and not care about them going away, because we'll be able to get them at the next end step or the next turn. turn. Legion War Boss, Goblin Rabble Master, that's going to keep that flow of creatures going and really just kind of keep you happy and keep the circus flowing, because you don't want it to come to a grinding halt if you have no creatures on the battlefield. And then same thing with Siege Gang Commander. We're going to get those extra goblins on the battlefield, but we have that activated ability, 2 damage to any target. If you get down Siege Gang Commander and you just start popping some goblins, I mean, that's a lot of damage really quick, and especially late game, if you spend a lot of time ramping, being able to just sacrifice a goblin into some sort of shock that's some good carnival action right there. Now, outside of the Goblin tokens, we are running a Handwear Garrison and also Pia and Karan. Once again, we just want to get a creature on the battlefield and get a few extra creatures that come along with it. With Garrison, we're going to get those 2/2 red human creature tokens tapped and attacking whenever it attacks. So there might be some sort of weird board state where you don't want to swing in with Garrison, but maybe just swinging in to lose it to get a few extra tokens is certainly fine. In my gameplay, getting down Garrison and getting down one of the goblins, the 3-drop goblins, that's some good Judith action, because you get that +1/+0, and it makes it really hard to kind of stop these tokens, and it makes a huge difference being able to give them that, if you have a bunch of 1/1s, all of a sudden they turn into 2/1s, that's a lot of pressure on your opponent. Same with the Pia, we're just getting those stoppers down, and we can always sacrifice them to deal some damage. And also, sacrifice an artifact. So let's say that we get to the late game, we've dealt enough damage. We can use that last activated ability to kind of send that damage up top to our opponent, kind of clear the way. Now, another way that we can really kind of make sure the Freak Show comes off to a really nice comes to a really nice end is going to be cards like Ogre Battle Driver and Hell Rider. These are going to give us extra ways to make sure we deal extra damage to our opponent. With Ogre Battle Driver, let's say that we get a Goblin on the battlefield, that's going to give it +2/+0. Then you have Judas effects, +1/+0. So now all of a sudden you're giving all of your creatures haste and giving them +3/+0. That is exactly what you want to be doing in an aggressive style deck like this. And the same thing with Hell Rider. Whenever a creature you control attacks, it deals 1 damage to a defending player. You don't even need combat damage to go through for this. You just swing it with Hell Rider, it has haste, and then you just swing in. Let's say you've got 5 goblins on the battlefield, swing with Hell Rider. That's going to be 6 damage being dealt to your opponent before they even get a chance to offer up blocks. So that is another way to make sure we keep the pressure up on our opponent and deal that extra damage. Outside of that, we have some nice enter the battlefield damage we can deal to our opponent. Impact Tremors and Porphyros. This is going to make sure that this deck is a very aggressive deck. We want to make sure we're attacking our opponent's life total turn after turn. And these cards right here make sure you can close the game out late game. Because let's say that you get down Goblin Rabble Master, you've run out of your card draw. Simply getting down Impact Tremors or Porphyros is really going to allow you to close the game out, or at least kind of put your opponent's life total in a point to where it's hard for them to do anything. And these are great ways to keep that pressure up. Really enjoyed both of these. I think I got down Porphyros. I didn't get down Impact Tremors, but I did get down Porphyros. And it's just hard to beat. It's indestructible, and it's Legendary Enchantment. Then once it gets onto the, you get Devotion to Red, you can use that extra ability to kind of get an extra Judith ability. It's like Porphyros was made for this deck. And of course, if we're caring about sacrificing our creatures, we want to be able to paint a beautiful picture for all the people at the carnival. You want to run some sort of Aristocrats package, and that's going to include a sack outlet like Viscera Seer, Blood Artist, and a reassembling skeleton. Just something that you can keep bringing back out of the graveyard and get those triggers going. Now, depending on how heavy you want to go with Aristocrats, it's totally up to you. There's Blood Artist, there's Falconrat Noble, there's Zulaport Cutthroat, there's the brand new Vampire from the new set. And it's just another wonderful way to kind of really amplify the ability from Judith to make sure you can deal as much damage as possible from your creatures dying. And then last but not least, you always want to have some sort of, not necessarily finale, but some sort of sky show at your carnival. And that's going to be a beautiful mix of Hellkite dragons. We've got the new Hellkite from the new set and Thundermaw Hellkite and Stormbreath Dragon. We want to set this up to where we've got a lot of aggressive stuff going on in turns 1, turns 2, turns 3, turns 4. So we come down for turn 5, being able to get a Thundermaw Hellkite down for 5 damage and swing in the air, especially in 1 versus 1 commander, that's really going to allow you to put enough pressure on your opponent to hopefully you close the game out. If not, these are just going to be great threats to bounce back from a board wipe. And of course, it's going to bring us to the encore, the finale of the carnival. That's going to be Thrilling Encore and Stunning Reversal. I was trying to find some sort of cards that kind of fit on theme with you're playing that card, because it's always fun to run cards in commander decks where people just shake their head that the fact that you have that card in that given situation. And especially with Thrilling Encore, put onto the battlefield under your control all creatures in all graveyards that are put there from the battlefield this turn. So let's say that we have our board state developed, our opponent goes for a board wipe, we go for Thrilling Encore in response to that. It's going to be a wonderful carnival act, and your opponent's going to be thrilled. They're like, wow, that's awesome. And the same thing with Stunning Reversal. The next time you lose the game, draw 7 cards and your life total becomes 1. Depending on how the game is developed, Stunning Reversal might not be that good, but being able to draw a fresh grip of 7, that's always good. So, and I definitely wanted to include some sort of extra cards in the deck that just kind of catch our opponent off guard. That's a good way to kind of have some fun in Commander. But that's going to be it for the deck tech. I have some wonderful gameplay videos, so stick around and watch. Welcome to Circuit Day Judith, and welcome to the Freak Show. As far as our opening hand goes, I kind of like this. We have Collar, which is definitely going to allow us to have some fun. So we'll keep up, not really that crazy of an opening hand, but just good enough that we don't want to mulligan, especially with us having 3 lands in our hand. And we're on the play, so I will definitely take that. Let's go and crack Scalding Tarn. Let's get down the Collar. And this is one of the circuses, the people who watch the circus. I guess like the crowd. Yeah, the crowd. Let's get down Badlands. And this is one of our crowd's favorite things. We get down the Collar. That's going to give Judith Death Touch whenever she deals damage. And we can just really kind of get rid of anything on the battlefield. But yes, welcome to the circus today. We're playing Judith. Other creatures you control get +1/+0. Let's get down Swamp, and let's go for Bloodthorn Vampire. There we go. Anything else? Kick it back over there. We're playing Judith. Creatures you control get +1/+0. Then, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Judith deals 1 damage to any target. And if you're new to Magic, you're not really unsure how this... Yeah, get down Scavenging Ooze with an open Hero's Downfall. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good luck. Good luck, buddy. Hold on. I got some business to take care of. We're going to go Hero's Downfall on Scavenging Ooze main phase. Not even going to give him a chance. Get out of here. If I had Damnation, I would still use Damnation on Scavenging Ooze. Yep, there you go. Bye-bye. All right, we're going to swing in with Bloodthorn Vampire. Sorry, between me and Scavenging Ooze, it's a little personal sometimes. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, if you're new to Magic, and we get the Collar on Judith, that's going to count as Death Touch damage. So whenever we deal damage to an opponent, or a creature, that's going to take the creature out. So let's say Scavenging Ooze is big and ugly like he normally is. He's like a 10/10 or something. We deal 1 damage with Judith, and that's enough to take care of it, because it's 1 point of Death Touch damage, which is always fun with interactions like that. Now, at this point, I think I kind of want to set up some swing in. So let's go for Garrison, because that's really going to allow us to kind of build up a really nice token board state. Let's push in with Bloodthorn Vampire, and we're going to swing in and then knock him down to 28, and then we'll kick it back over there. Playing gets Rune of the Hidden Realm, Vigilance and Trample. Then for a 2-mana activation, exile another target creature. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And Rune is hiding behind some fog right now, so not really sure why, but that's what it's doing. Now with the Bramble Sovereign, I think that would be a good option for Plaguecrafter. Yeah, I think so. That's a 4/4 where they can just really start to generate a ton of value. So, and at the same time, they can't pay for that 2 mana. So let's go and go for Plaguecrafter. We're going to go ahead and sacrifice Plaguecrafter, and let's see who our opponent wants to sacrifice. It'll probably be Bramble. Let's go and push in with the Crew. And then next turn, that's going to set us up for a really nice Judith. Now, as far as this deck goes, I've realized I've been recording. I end up with a lot of quick games, but when you play this deck, it's red-black aggro. You're going to be as aggressive as possible. And so there's a lot of times where I want to have fun in Commander, but I'm quickly learning with Judith that there's a lot of times where we just kind of end up with just a turn them sideways style matches. So, hey, ooh, an opponent's going to get down Prophet of Kruphix, which is just brutal. So we have Demonic Tutor in our hand. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for Judith. We could tutor for a land source, Ancient Tomb, but that's going to cut us off Judith. I like getting this +1 on the battlefield. Yeah, we're stuck on 3 lands, but hopefully next turn we can bounce back. We could Demonic Tutor. Yeah, let's just go and hold on. Oh, we got a counterspell coming down. Maybe. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Let's see what's happening. Maybe we've got ourselves a game. Oh, we're going to flash in Rune. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You can. This is why I hate playing against Simic decks, because I always forget that like Prophet of Kruphix, you can flash in creatures. So I'll be doing something, and then they're like flashing in this spell where I'm like, where did this spell come from? And then I'm like, oh yeah. Anyway, that's why if you ever watch my videos and I'm like, sound the Simic alarms, that's why. because I'm always just like, what's going on? All right, so let's go and push in with Bloodthorn Vampire. We'll swing in with the... Do we want to swing in with the Garrison? Get those extra 2 creatures. That'll be an extra damage. Yeah, I think we can do that. We'll go and swing with the humans. We want to be aggressive on this one. We still have Legion War Boss as our kind of super secret backup option. And then even then, we still got Bloodthorn Vampire just to kind of sack the War Boss. And all right, so they're going to block on both of those creatures. Let's go ahead and this is why I love Bloodthorn Vampire. It is one of my favorite sack outlets. Love it. Look at that. Get swinging in for 6, 9. It's going to knock our opponent all the way down to 10. And then anything else, kick it back over to our opponent. So now at this point right now, fingers crossed, if we do end up hitting the land drop, we can get down Hell Rider, and then whenever our creature you control attacks, it's going to deal 1 damage to the player. And that might really kind of make the difference in our ability to kind of help close the game out. But this is pretty much what the deck wants to do. And what we got going on? Octopus Umbra, base power 8/8. So we got a 8/8 Prophet of Crufix. You may tap target creature power 8 or less. Okay, so they're going to tap down the Garrison, but I think we can still swing in next turn. But yeah, we can take an 8 hit. That's fine. All right, so I'm going to swing in. That's going to put us down to 17, and then that's going to untap Prophet of Crufix as an 8/8. All right, we do finally hit the red source. Yeah, I think we end up going for Hell Rider. So let's get down Sulphur Springs. That was a beautiful draw. Thank you, Magic Gods. Let's go for the 8 damage. The 1 damage off of Sulphur Springs, because it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's put them down to 4. Yeah, I think we go for this, because next turn that puts us in a position where we can just basically, hopefully kind of swing in with the Hellkite. So let's go ahead and swing in, right-click all. Look at this. Oh, unless they have some sort of instant speed action, exile. Oh yeah, they can go for the Hell Rider. I forgot about that. I don't play against Rune that much, and I forgot that they can target our own creatures. So, but at least it's still going to allow us to get in for a really nice chunk of damage on our opponent. And I don't think they have enough for Mystifying Maze. So, all right, let's go and swing in with the crew. Get those 2 1/1 red human creature tokens swinging in, and we'll see how they want to go for blocks. It's basically going to put them at not a ton of mana, and that's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that's going to be lethal right there. So we're just going to let it come across and see if they have any sort of... There we go. Put our opponent down to -3. You can see where, fortunately, we're ending up with a lot of shorter games, but this is kind of pretty much what this deck wants to do. We get down a ton of creatures. Something like Legion War Boss and then the Battlements is such a strong card in this deck. Being able to turn a 1/1 creature into a 2/1 is kind of what makes the difference in games like this. I mean, it's just really hard to kind of make trades with tokens. Then you have options of, Bloodthorn Vampire, where we can sacrifice some of our other creatures to deal some damage with Judith on the battlefield. It's just a really fun deck to play. I've really enjoyed it, and yeah, let's get back to recording. So, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Cirque de Judith, and welcome to the Freak Show. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, I love it. We're going to keep on this one. We've got Read the Bones, which is going to be the us reading the bones of the former people who had attended this carnival. So that's always going to be a lot of fun. And we've got Ancient Tomb and a bunch of other fun things like that. So let's lead off with Temple of Malice. Get the scry going. The scurry, the fever, the insanity, the descent into madness. And we draw and Wheel of Fortune on top. Yeah, against an elf, I don't mind Wheel of Fortune, but since we do have Read the Bones, yeah, I think we're just going to go and put that on the bottom. I'm okay with that. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing Judith, the diva of this circus today. Other creatures you control get +1 and +0. Yeah, got to matter on that last part. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Judith deals 1 damage to any target. We're playing against Azuri, the Renegade Leader. For 1 green activation, regenerate another target elf. Then for 5 mana activation, elf creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. And they also gain trample if you are keeping score at home. So let's go and lead off with Ancient Tomb. Yeah, I like going for Ancient Tomb. We could go for Legion War. Well, actually, I don't mind going for Legion War Boss now that I think about it. Because we get down Ancient Tomb, we don't really need to card. I'm always like focused on card draw. But if we get down Legion War Boss and we just get some really good goblins going, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. All right, so let's get down the War Boss. I have to remember that we're doing a circus show today, and it's not just a card draw show. So we're going to get down Legion War Boss. We're going to get those little Goblin tokens on the battlefield. Yes, go. Look how cool that little Goblin looks too. All right, so we're gonna swing in for 1. It's going to knock them down to 29, and then we'll have the pass the turn to our opponent. We've got the traditional elves versus goblins. We did cover Zuri, we covered Judith, and also this MTG, so we're good on the sponsors. But yes, so it is free time. We can talk about whatever we want, and that's going to be the Freak Show. We've got some fun stuff in here. As you can tell, we've got Proforos, we've got Impact Trimmers. We're running about 30 creatures in here that get some form of tokens on the battlefield, or we can take advantage of, these enter the battlefield effects. Either way, it's just basically a hodgepodge of creatures that all come together in a beautiful harmony of card synergy. I'm really excited about it. So we're drawn to Live Fast. Do we want to go for Read the Bones at this point? We can definitely go for Legion of War Boss, put a +1 counter on Goblin. That's going to allow us to get in for 4 and then 5, because I really doubt they're going to trade with Priest of Titania. And what we could do is we could go for Proforos. That would really... Yeah, because if we get down Proforos, that's going to be the 2 damage to each opponent. That's really going to put a clock on them. Because the thing about Azuri is if you're playing against Azuri, somehow they end up with 1,000,000 mana on the battlefield. Next thing you know, all of their elves are like infinitely getting +3/+3. So, yeah, I think I kind of like getting down Proforos, and then next turn we can get down... let's go and pop this out just a little bit bigger. Let's grab Badlands. Let's get down Proforos. And then next turn we get down Scourge Diva, and that'll definitely allow us to get some really nice, get a nice power bonus for the following turn. So let's go and push in with the Legion War Boss, because I doubt they want to trade with Priest of Titania. And we've got some angry Goblins right now. Alright, so we're going to swing in with the entire crew, and that's going to be the Mentor Trigger. And since this Goblin is stuck around the longest on the battlefield, we're going to go ahead and give that one the Mentor Trigger. That way we can... make sure it's nice and taken care of. Now, with the Legion War Boss, in the original Ravnica set, there was this, I think it was a goblin called Boros Recruit. And basically, it was just like a little goblin that had like he's just a low-level Boros soldier. And then the Return to Ravnica set, they had, I cannot remember, but I think it was the Legion War Boss, which, not Legion War Boss, but it was the token one. It was like a 1-drop token one. I can't remember what it was. And then in the next set, they had Legion War Boss. So it's almost kind of like this goblin has, over time, risen to the ranks of being a war boss. I don't know. I just really enjoy that. And if I can remember to put it in post-edit, I'm going to try my best to do that. All right, so we draw into Ambition's Cost. We have a... Pretty much, this is a Freak Show... Get a bunch of random creatures on the battlefield and just draw a ton of cards. That's pretty much what we're going to get going. At this point right now, we do have Devotion 2 to red, so we get down Judith. Because we can get down Impact Trimmers. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can actually get down Impact Trimmers and get down Judith, which I think will be a pretty good option. And yeah, I still kind of like going for that. So let's get down Swamp. Let's go for Judith. It's going to be 1/2 off of this Ancient Tomb. That's going to give our creatures a nice +1 bonus and still get that Proforos trigger. Oh, I meant to go for Impact Trimmers first. Sorry about that. I was doing the mana math in my head, and I was getting really excited that this was going to be a fun turn, and that's what happened. So anyway, we miss out on 1 point of damage, and hopefully that doesn't make the difference in this match. But sometimes it does, so hopefully it doesn't. Let's go and push in. We still have the Legion War Boss sitting at a 3/2. Yeah, I think I like swinging in with Legion War Boss. If they want to block with the Elvish Archdruid, I will definitely make that trade in a heartbeat. And let's go ahead and put the +1 counter on the second Goblin since he got on the battlefield after the other one. So we've at least got 3/2 swinging across. We do have just a regular 2/1 Goblin, and we've got Judith who's just sitting back and enjoying every bit of this. We do have our opponent all the way down to 6. So, worst case scenario, next turn we simply just pass the turn with an open Legion War Boss. That's going to be 3 damage up top. That's going to put them down to 3. And I was hoping that one of our card draw cards said target player draws cards and loses X life, but Read the Bones, Live Fast, and Ambition's Cost all say for us to draw cards and lose some life. So, I know with Sign in Blood, you can make an opponent draw some cards, but at this point right now, unless they get down some sort of creatures to kind of muddy up the board, we should be able to hopefully close it out for next turn. And especially if we can somehow find an extra devotion for Proforos, that'll definitely allow us to get Proforos online and get him into the circus and have some fun. But yeah, outside of this, we did get down Legion War Boss. That put on a pretty good pressure on our opponent. Outside of Legion War Boss, basically it's just kind of like a hodgepodge of creatures. We've got a really nice dragon theme in here. We have the Thundermaw Hellkite, we have Storm Breath Dragon, we have the Scargan Hellkite from the new set. I was just trying to imagine what sort of finisher creatures you'd want to see in a circus, and especially a Rakdos circus, and having a big dragon with a skull on its head. That was pretty good. So that's what we've got going on with Judith. Then outside of that, we're just standard good creatures. We've got Blood Artist in here, Bloodthorn Vampire, Zulaport Cutthroat. We really want to be sacrificing our creatures. We have a ton of Altars Reap style effects. We're going to be drawing some cards and sacrifice our own creatures. Now with Staff of Domination, they've got 3 mana. I was about to say, can they untap target? Okay, I got worried that they could start to generate a ton of mana with the Staff of Domination. It never fails. Whenever our opponent gets down Staff of Domination, I'm always like in the middle of explaining something, and then they start going through this really crazy loop, and I'm like, uh-oh. Retro. All right, so we draw into a Braid. So we actually just straight up just go a Braid on Azuri. All right, opponent's going to scoop it up. Yep, that's going to be, we're going to have lethal coming across, even if they block, they block on Legion War Boss and one of these 3/2s, we're still going to have 3 coming across, especially once we get that Impact Tremor coming down. That was a little bit more of an aggressive start, but as you can see, it was turn 4 from our opponent. They've got down Azuri, they got down Elvish Archdruid. They're able to generate a ton of mana. So really the only way to kind of stop the elves making a ton of mana is by getting a lot of Gerblins on the battlefield and celebrating on Porphyros. But yes, if you enjoyed your time at the circus, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Cirque Day Judith, and welcome to the Freak Show. As far as opening hand goes, we've got beautiful spread. We have no colored mana, so let's go and mulligan. Does it not sound that enticing? And yeah, I guess we'll keep. I mean, I don't really want to go past 6, to be perfectly honest, and it's interesting. Yeah, we'll keep. Maybe we can get a stunning reversal. I don't know. I think that sounds pretty fun. Let's go and put Bloodstained Mire on the bottom for right now, because we definitely want to kind of cash in something that's going to be card draw. Card draw ramp. That's kind of what we're looking for right now. So let's go and lead off with Temple of Malice. Get the Scry going. The Scurry, the Fever. Braid, we're definitely going to put that on top because playing against Kozilek, there's going to be a ton of artifacts in there, so I'll definitely take that a Braid. But yes, we're playing Judith. Other creatures you control get +1/+0. Then, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Judith deals 1 damage to any target, and that a Braid is going to be a beautiful target for that Soul Ring. Get out of here, partner. Go on, get. You are not wanted here at the circus. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Playing against Kozilek, the Great Distortion. Whenever you cast this spell, if you have fewer than 7 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Menace, then discard a card with converted mana cost X. Counter target spell with converted mana cost X. So, and actually, let's just go and get down Judith and have some fun. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go Polluted Delta. Let's grab Badlands, because at this point, I don't want to get down, not that they need Urborg, but let's say they have some sort of utility land that they wouldn't be able to tap, something like Maze of Ith. We're just going to hold on to Urborg for as long as possible. So let's get down Badlands, get down Judith. She's going to get the, well, we can't swing in yet. I forget. For some reason, I always think that Judith has haste, and she doesn't have haste. So if you're playing Judith, if you want to build Judith, she does not have haste. So please keep that in mind, because I keep thinking it all the time. She just seems like she'd have haste. I don't know why. All right, so we do, drawn to Blood Artist. Do we want to take care of Monolith with Bedevil? I think that sounds pretty good. Yeah. Let's go. Let's take care of Monolith, and we've just got a... And it's reminded me of my pre-release, and I'll kind of tell you about my pre-release here in a second. Let's go Bedevil on Monolith. Let's go and get down Canyon. We just want to make sure Mr. Kozilek stays off the battlefield. That's where I think that's all the artifact destruction we have in here. So, but our opponent is called Rakdos Cast, so they have to kind of appreciate a Rakdos deck destroying a bunch of artifacts. At least I would hope they would. Yeah, you can see where we've really kind of slowed down Kozilek, but really not really. I mean, we'd be in a really bad position had they gotten down Kozilek. Let's get down Urborg. Yeah, let's go and push in with Judith, and I'll tell you about my pre-release game here in a second. That was a man, it was a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to swing in, knock him down to 26. Let's get down Blood Artist and then Altars Reap. Yeah, let's do that, because what we can do is Altar's Reap. We'll go ahead and sacrifice Blood Artist. The way this deck is set up is that we're running about 30 creatures in here. And so something like Altar's Reap, you know, I would love to have Blood Artist on the battlefield, but oh, look at that. Blood Artist is a 1/1. Thank you, Judith. Judith is a really good pep talker, and she makes Blood Artist be really confident of his work, and so he can swing in for a 1/1 instead of being a 0/1. But yeah, so pretty much what the deck wants to do is you need to get down something like Altar's Reap, sacrifice a creature, cash in some card draw, and then just kind of go to town. Our opponent's going to get down Kozilek's Channeler. Yeah, let's go for Altar's Reap, because this deck is pretty aggressive, and that's pretty much what we want to be doing. We're going to get a Blood Artist trigger, we're going to get a Judith trigger. Every little bit of damage counts on this one. You know, if we had some sort of sack outlet and, you know, a way to make tokens, I would do, ooh, Hellrider. Oh, yeah, but in the world of 4/4s, we're not so good with this Hellrider, but we can still get it down. Ooh, and then Garrison. That is a beautiful draw. Let's go Swamp. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think at this point, we want to get down Garrison. That way we can try to build up some of these tokens. Because if we get down Hellrider, it's going to have haste. It's going to make it a 4/4. We can trade. Yeah, actually, I think I kind of like getting down Hellrider. We can just basically just hold up Judith, and if our opponent wants to make a trade on that, they certainly can. So let's go and push in with Hellrider. And I love Hellrider. It's just such a wild looking like creature art, and whenever you see it come down, you're like, yes, that's pretty much what I expect. Something to come in that allows your creatures to deal some damage to some opponents. So we're going to get down Hellrider, and then actually, yeah, we did cover both commanders. So I never said it, but it is officially free time. We can do whatever we want. Okay, and our opponent is adding a ton of mana, so we might be seeing Kozilek come down on the battlefield. We can still get down Garrison. That's going to be Gilded Lotus, and that's going to put it at 8 total mana. So thankfully, we're a little bit far away from Kozilek, but we need to do something with that that doubling cube. Meteor Golem. This is turning into a really interesting match. I'm enjoying this. All right, so they're going to take care of Hellrider. We'll go up top with 1 damage, put him back down to 18. Yeah, let's see if we can't get a stunning reversal. That's going to be... Ooh, and they hit Legion War Boss. Okay, let's just go. I was about to say that one of the things this deck wants to do is get down one of the 3-drop token producers, but when you've got both of them, makes for a pretty good time. All right, so we're going to get that extra 1/1 Goblin swinging across. Unfortunately, it's going to have to swing in regardless of what we want to do. And so that Meteor Golem's just going to Falcon Punch this Goblin into next Tuesday, and then we'll go and let our opponent... All right, sorry about that. I had like 2 or 3 sneezes back to back to back, and I was like, well, I need to not sneeze into the mic, because that does not make for some good gameplay. All right, so now we've officially reached the Kozilek point of the game, and this is ain't looking so hot. So we're looking at Stunning Reversal. Yeah, I think we're going to have to try to set up a Stunning Reversal. And I put this card in here just to kind of be like a circus, like the final act for the circus. And so hopefully we can utilize it, because, I don't know, it'd be pretty fun. Yeah, draw 7 cards and your life total becomes 1. So the only downside with Endbringer, yeah, with Endbringer and Stunning, we need to deal with Endbringer. Because if we go for a Stunning Reversal, then they can just be like, oh, well, that's cute, and then just pop us for 1. So, and we don't want that to happen. Drawn to Hellkite. So that does not have reach. That does not have reach. And that does not have reach either. We do put ourselves in a position to where we might have to watch out for Kozilek. But, yeah, I think we're okay with it. I think we're okay with going for the Hellkite. So that's going to be double red. Help if we do tap for some red on some of this. Red, and then Urborg. Tap down 1 more. I'll just go colorless off that. So we can go for a +1 counter. That's going to make it a 6/4. But I like it coming in with haste. Our opponent is sitting at 18, so... If we get the Goblin swinging in. Yeah, because even if we swing with the Garrison, that's going to be a little bit of extra damage. Yeah, I think it's better if we just swing in with the Hellkite and the Goblin. So let's go and swing with the Hellkite and the Goblin. We'll see Meteor Golem. He'll get his fist out again and punch his Goblin into next Thursday. Or Kozilek's turn. They're taking turns beating up on Goblins. And how original Kozilek. And then we'll pass it back over to our opponent. So, like I mentioned, we need to deal with Endbringer. We do have I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we have Dreadbore. We do have Terminate in here, so that's one that we can deal with Endbringer. But yeah, like I mentioned, with Stunning Reversal, that 1 mana activation with Endbringer, that's gonna be the. We'll still try to go for it. Maybe our opponent will be like, "Wow, that's really cool." We're not going to go for an Endbringer activation, but we'll see. But yeah, this is pretty much what the deck wants to do. This is 100% what I had in mind. Get down Judith, get down some sort of token producing, what just happened? Oh, Universal Solvent. We'll go and deal 1 damage to Endbringer. Yeah, we'll do 1 damage to Endbringer, because let's say that they swing in. I don't mind making a few trades with Endbringer, because we want to make sure Endbringer's off the battlefield if we're going to go for a Stunning Reversal. But this is pretty much what the deck wants to do. You know, get down a 3 mana token producer, Legion War Boss, Garrison. We do have the battlements in here, so if we can get down battlements, thumbs up on that. And then if we can get down one of our dragons, our 5-drop dragons, to kind of close the game out, then we like to have some fun. All right, so we got Kozilek swinging in for a 12-12, and that will definitely be unblockable with Kozilek. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed for some sort of spot removal, because, yeah, we're looking at Garrison next turn. Ooh, there we go. That is beautiful. But here's the downside. We don't have enough mana for both. Oh, no. Yeah, so they go unblockable on Kozilek again for next turn. Now that does put us in a position to where we can go for Hero's Downfall on Kozilek, because it is not indestructible. And that's going to buy us a turn, but if we're going for that Stunning Reversal line of play, yeah. Okay, so we can get in for a little bit of extra damage. Yeah, because they simply just untap a Rogue's Passage and they've got it. So we have to leave up Hero's Downfall. And we're still, oh man, if we had just had 1 extra land drop through this turn, that would have been beautiful. All right, so do we swing in? They swing in on the back end. That's going to be 12 unblockable. That's going to be Hero's Downfall. That's going to be 5, 8, and then 12. Yeah, I think that buys us an additional time if we swing in with the crew. So yeah, let's do this. So we're going to get the Legion War Boss going. We're going to be aggressive on this one. All right, so we're going to swing in with the entire crew, because hopefully what they can do is attack with all creatures. We're going to get the extra soldier tokens on the battlefield. Let's get the 1/1s. We're going to get the Mentor trigger going too. Yeah, let's get the Mentor trigger on the stack. Actually, we have to put it on there first. We have to target somebody with the Mentor trigger. We'll target the Goblin. We're going to get those 2/1/1 soldier human red soldier tokens. I get the Mentor on the Goblin. That's going to be a 3/2, yes. And then, yeah, we're simply just going to go ahead and see how they want to block up. So it's going to be 2/4. That's going to be 7. That's going to be 10. So this is lethal to our opponents. So we're going to have to see some blocks. Thankfully, with this Goblin token, we can trade with Meteor Golem. And then with Endbringer, we'll see how they want to divvy up some of these blocks. But yeah, they're going to go for the Legion War Boss, which is perfectly fine. So it's going to be 2/4/6. I mean, 2/4. That's going to be 7. That's going to be us getting in for 9. That's going to be an extra damage. Deal 1 damage to our human token, okay. And let's see how much damage it's going to deal. Because another thing, even if we're trying to leave up Stunning Reversal, they always have the option of, it's going to be 3. Oh, we should have, well, either way, we couldn't have really sequenced a better Endbringer block, because we can't deal any more damage. So we're going to send that damage up top, knock them down to 5. Now, it still puts us at 17, and we're still in a pretty good position to kind of survive some sort of attack from our opponent. The main thing is, do we want to go for Kozilek right now with 5 cards in the hand, without allowing them to untap and draw some more cards? Yeah, let's go for that. Because Kozilek's not going to have haste. Yeah, let's go for it now. Yeah, because Kozilek is indestructible, not indestructible, so that's going to take care of Kozilek, send it back. That's going to basically kind of chew up their mana, and then that might make it to where we can still kind of push in again next turn. Let's say they have to completely tap out for Kozilek or do something else, or we just want to make sure that this Hero's Downfall is going to stick. That way they don't draw into an additional card, and they can counter the Hero's Downfall with the Kozilek trigger. So, but yeah, this has been a really good showing so far. You can see how strong that Kozilek deck is. You know, we took care of Sol Ring, we took care of Monolith, and that was just like speed bumps for a monster truck. They just, Kozilek said, no, I've got some business to take care of. Please get out of my way. So we'll see if we can't get this stunning reversal to stick, but it is funny when you play Magic and you get down to this one point to where it's just kind of, there's a sub game that we know about, and that's stunning reversal, trying to make sure that have some fun. And then our opponent's going to be adding a ton of mana. It's going to be 16 total colorless mana, and they also still have Kozilek's Channeler too, so it's going to be Sad Robot coming down. But with them being at 5, we're like a Proforos card draw away from getting down Proforos, swinging with Garrison, and dealing some damage up top. And it also puts him in this position of, if let's say that we, swing him with Judith and they want to offer up some blocks, the fact that we can, cash in an extra point of damage with Judith, that does make a big difference. All right, so opponent's going to crack the Sanctum of Ugin. You may search your library for a colorless creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand. So let's see what they do search up. Thankfully, with that Arson of Kozilek, yeah, that's fine. Thankfully, they only got 1 mana up at this point. Actually, excuse me, technically they have 3 mana with the Kozilek's Channeler. And, they tapped down, they took care of that little human soldier token. Now, let's see what we draw into. Oh, and I forgot Unbringer untaps every single turn. Wow. Well, we do have enough mana for Iron Mirror. We can get that down. And maybe they go for like a board wipe or something to cash in an extra Judith. Yeah, okay, it's not looking good. Because like I mentioned, they go for the Endbringer. But they're at least going to leave up Stunning Reversal at this point right now. So we're going to get down Iron Mirror. We're going to get the entire crew swinging across. Oh, they got we got Sphere of the Sun on that one. Okay, that's fine. And then do we want to push in? Yeah, we might as well. Might as well just go and push in. They're going to send 1 damage over to... target creature can't attack this turn. That's definitely a good option to go for. And then I guess swinging in with Judith is not that good, because we might as well just hold it back on our turn. Now, the only saving grace is that let's say that they end up using the activated ability of Endbringer. Yeah, I think either way, that 1 damage is going to really hurt us with Stunning Reversal. But either way, we're going to try to jam it. And I don't know, I just really love the flavor of this card. Like whenever they spoiled Judith, I was just staring at, because I've always wanted to find a home for Stunning Reversal. When a new card comes out, I really enjoy the art, I enjoy the style of a card. Sometimes I like to build a deck around it. And they're going to go for Kozilek, yeah, that's fine. And so, with Stunning Reversal, I was like, yeah, I want to find like a special home for that card, because it's such a unique ability. All right, so let's go for Stunning Reversal. I don't think we can get out of this one, but if they've got a 4 mana spell, they can. Hopefully they don't use the Endbringer. But Kozilek's going to be able to swing in and deal some... Alright, so we're going to get the Stunning Reversal, goes in the Exile Zone. So our life total is going to become 1. Oh, but I guess Commander damage supersedes that. Well... I don't know. Let's see. Let's pop that up, because you think it wouldn't. Next time you would lose the game this turn. Oh, okay. I guess technically... Okay, that makes sense. So with Kozilek... Either way, good game to our opponent. We got to try to live the dream with the Stunning Reversal. But yeah, with Stunning Reversal, next time you'd lose the game this turn, draw 7, and your life total becomes 1. So I guess once we get below... Well, I don't know. Either way, we tried to live it. But even if we do get the 7 card draw, even if we do somehow stabilize at 1... We got Endbringer breathing down our neck, so at least we got to cast Stunning Reversal. And then, but yeah, if you enjoyed your time at the circus, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome MTG content just like this. And make sure to tap the bell icon to be notified whenever a video is made live. If you want to keep watching content, here are 2 more videos for you. This video and many others are sponsored by MTGO Traders and Cape Fear Games. Buy and sell digital singles to build your online collection today with MTGO Traders, and get your paper singles, accessories, and much more from Cape Fear Games. Whatever your Magic needs, both places have you covered.